Yo, Arkansas Pilgrim here again. Today I'm doing something that is definitely not a redneck repair. Now you can measure stuff, and actually I'm going to be measuring something in a minute, but a lot of times, most of the time it's best to just, butt it up against something and mark it, then you don't have to worry about messing up your measurement, or at least you only got one measurement you could screw up, and then also not messing up any math that you have to do to subtract or add measurements you've done. Okay, I want this to be right there, just a little bit of a gap so that it doesn't mess up the O-ring. So for that, okay, we got a little bit of gap there, and I'm just going to mark, I'm butting that up against the side. Help to have there we go. Okay, you may not be able to see what I did, but I butted up. I put this up where I wanted it to clear the other piece, and then I stuck this hacksaw right up against this side of this, and then I made a mark on that pipe, and that mark is right there. Okay, now, so this needs to be right there, which that means I need to have this piece of pipe right here. I need to cut it so that when it fully penetrates this, which is what you need for a good seal, that pipe is going to be, and this is as an aside here, little steel rules like this are fantastic to have specifically for things like this. They're a lot more accurate than trying to use like a measuring tape with a little wobbly end, that's meant for carpentry, for framing, where, a little bit of slop's okay there. Here, we need to just be as closely accurate as possible. And you're going to get, and these, believe it or not, these are actually, Harbor Freight are good enough. You're not making a piano or some sort of, nuclear device or some sort of Star Trek, super high tech, whatever, that requires really tight tolerances. So here we go. Let's see. That's actually one. This is pretty finely marked. Got to make sure and read it right. That's 1 inch right there, and we're right at 1 inch. So I need to cut that 1 inch from that line. And I'm not going to do that with this camera hanging around my neck. So, hey, you have to use your imagination again. All right, got it marked. I just leaned down in there, and I held this right in place, and then with my other hand, I marked it with a pocket knife. A nice sharp pocket knife, which helps. Because if it's not sharp, it doesn't make a very good mark. I'm going to go ahead and use hacksaw blade. You can call this a jab saw, but you only call that when you usually put it in the holder, to go ahead and cut this. And I can actually do it fairly accurately. I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. Okay, now that actually didn't cut very straight, which, hacksaws are known to do that. It actually left a pretty big lobe back there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have to shave that off either with a sharp pocket knife or something. Well, I'll figure out something. And hey, I'll probably show you that too. Actually, let me try that with just my pocket knife right now. It's actually quite a bit. I might actually be able to start and cut it off with with the hacksaw. Actually, I think I can. There we go. Well, it's still just a little bit over here. Let's see how that works out. Yeah, if you see your plumber doing this, hire somebody else. If you're doing it yourself, it's okay. But then again, I'm not getting paid to do this. So, because your plumber did it, he would dig this whole thing up and do it in, and because he's going to get paid for doing all that work and the hours and all that stuff. And I'm going to spend the exact same amount of time he's doing it by not digging it up, by trying to, supposedly make it easier and quicker, which, never really works out. But he also doesn't have to worry about fixing the yard up and making that work again. Well, that may actually be good enough. I think I'm probably going to go ahead and bring my grinder out here and grind that plastic off, kind of sand it off down flat, because this is important. This is our water. So, okay, I know what some of you are saying now. You're saying, hey, I thought you said this wasn't going to be a redneck repair. Okay, this is not a redneck repair. Okay, now, this specific part I'm doing right now is getting a little bit on the redneck side, but it's sort of the methods, but not the end result. If it was a redneck thing, I wouldn't even worry about that being the right length. And actually, if this was a redneck repair, I wouldn't even replace, this with the proper pressure reduction. I would put a T in here and then put a balloon on there, something that would absorb, theoretically absorb, the pressure differential or something. So no, this is still the proper repair method. It's just a couple of the steps of I'm having to do what I can with what I have where I am. So there. Anyway, here we go. Now I'm just going to use this to kind of sand it flat. No, this is not a plastic wheel or anything. It just is what it is, mate. So that wasn't so bad, was it? Okay, now we've got to, let's see, I gotta, hang on a second. Okay, I'm back. We gotta clean up this piece of pipe so it will glue properly. And, okay, that's, this isn't doing much. I'm gonna put a little bit of a bevel on that edge. I'm gonna try a little bit with the, with my knife here, just to cut that sharp edge. Make it slip into the slip in a little more easily into the fitting, the male adapter that we're going to be putting on here. Could probably use the grinder to do that too, but it isn't, not a lot of room to work, and I don't want to overdo it. There are actually specific tools you can get to do this, but I don't have one of them, just because I actually don't do this very often. I don't want to spend I think it's like $50 or something just for something you spin on there and it cuts a little bevel. Okay, you do this. Usually, I already have the pipes out someplace else. You can just do it with a sander. Do it on the belt sander. Do it first. There. Okay. And Yeah, speaking of belt sander, here's an old piece of, an old piece of sanding belt that broke because it was a Harbor Freight one, and I don't recommend their sanding belts. They don't hold together very well. Here, let me smooth some of the jagged edges there. And now this is sanding. Actually, some of the sanding is gonna get some of the dirt off. There's some nicks and gouges, probably from either something like this or something like this, and I have to sand those off, and I've got to get in kind of a weird position to do that. So yeah, you're gonna have to use your imagination again. And it's time to go ahead and just take the big plunge. Get my little kit here. And if you are going to glue stuff with PVC, you do, for stuff that matters, you do need to prime it first. It helps the glue. It's like a solvent that softens the PVC and helps the glue absorb. You know, great dirt in there. You also want to have it clean. Been sitting, I don't know how long I've had. I'm not even sure where I got this. I don't have any other inch PVC around here. I probably got it I got a box of tool stuff in a yard sale. Okay. Here we go. And this is generally shouldn't need a tool that big to open it up, but this is what I had, right? Okay. My gosh, this is what Walmart had, and well, this is what I could get. So this doesn't look all great, but it's still liquid, so that's all that really matters. Buying a little one like this is actually probably a good idea if you don't do a lot, because the glue doesn't, once you open it up, even if you seal it up well, it doesn't last very well, especially if it gets cold and freezes. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and, well, if you can't see it, here's what it is, mate. There we go. If you saw it, you need to jam it on quick and do like a 90-degree turn back and forth to make sure all the stuff is spread. And then you hold it, because it's weird. A lot of times it'll actually push back out again. Well, I've got a gap there, but I think the flex is going to be okay. It'll pull. Well, actually, I don't want the flex to be to pull that joint apart. I got to let that joint set a while. It probably says on the instructions, but I'm going to let it set maybe an hour. Maybe it should be, who knows. I'm going to go ahead and, well, hey, what the heck? Read the instructions. I am an instruction reader. Okay. It said allow 2 hours for pressure. Well, it's going to be quite a bit of pressure on that, when tightening that union up to kind of pull it along. So I'm going to go ahead and wait that 2 hours. All right, the magic of video. It's 2 hours later now. Geez, I can't believe I said that. Actually, I can't believe I said it. Anyway, here we go. It said 2 hours for full water pressure. Hopefully it's also 2 hours for axial joint stress from tightening this up. I don't think it's gonna stress it all that much anyway, actually. Oh, that's right. Go. Got to do the little flip-flop thing. Okay, here we go. That should do it. Well, there we go. Yeah. Oh. There's going to be water running in the house now out of all the open taps to let the air out. And I'll come back and see if this is leaking when we shut them all off. Well, all the faucets were flowing. Got the air out of the lines. Everything full of water. Pretty sure anyway. So this is under pressure. And there's no leak. Thank you all for following along. And oh hey, and thank you, Jesus, this worked, and that we're not going to be without water for multiple days waiting for a plumber to come fix what I couldn't. God bless y'all. See you next time.